Deep in an underground labyrinth is a fantastic invention which cost billions of dollars. The time tunnel.
Imagine standing before a massive spiral, a swirling vortex of light and shadow stretching endlessly into the distance. In 1966, millions of Americans found themselves mesmerized by this very sight as they tuned in to ABC's groundbreaking series,
We couldn't begin to guess. The time tunnel.
The Time Tunnel. In an era when America raced to reach the stars, this show dared to ask, what if we could master time itself? Deep beneath the Arizona desert, in a secret government facility known as Project TikTok, scientists had achieved the impossible, a tunnel through time. But what began as a stunning scientific achievement quickly became a desperate rescue mission when two of its scientists, Dr. Tony Newman and Dr. Doug Phillips, became lost in the endless corridors of history. The time tunnel emerged at a fascinating crossroads in American history, when the space race, Cold War tensions, and technological optimism collided with the entertainment industry's growing ambitions. Created by television visionary Irwin Allen, already famous for Lost in Space and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, this series represented something entirely new, a weekly journey through time that would combine cutting-edge special effects with historical drama. Yet behind its dazzling visuals and adventure-filled storylines lay deeper questions that still resonate today. Can we change the past? Should we? And what happens when our desire to control time spirals beyond our grasp? As we stand in our own era of unprecedented technological change, perhaps it's time to look back at this pioneering series that dared to imagine where humanity's ambitions might lead us. The mid-1960s marked a unique moment in American television and cultural history. As The Time Tunnel made its debut in 1966, the United States found itself in the midst of dramatic technological and social transformation. The space race was in full swing, with NASA's Gemini missions paving the way for the upcoming Apollo program. Television itself was transitioning to full-color broadcasting, with ABC being the last major network to complete this technological leap. The era's entertainment landscape was experiencing a science fiction boom. Star Trek had just premiered on NBC, while CBS was running Lost in Space. This surge in sci-fi programming reflected America's growing obsession with scientific advancement and futuristic possibilities. The genre provided an ideal vehicle for exploring Cold War anxieties, with many shows incorporating themes of espionage, advanced technology, and global conflict. ABC, traditionally trailing behind CBS and NBC in ratings, was actively seeking innovative programming to distinguish itself. The network had found success with shows like Batman and The Fugitive, establishing a pattern of high-concept series that could capture viewers' imaginations. The Time Tunnel fit perfectly into this strategy, offering both educational value through its historical settings and cutting-edge special effects that showcase the network's technical capabilities. The cultural climate of 1966 was ripe for a show that combined historical drama with scientific speculation. The Vietnam War was escalating, the civil rights movement was transforming society, and Americans were increasingly questioning their relationship with both past and future. The Time Tunnel emerged from this complex tapestry of social change and technological optimism. The genesis of the Time Tunnel began in the creative mind of Irwin Allen, already dubbed the Master of Disaster for his successful television ventures. Fresh from the success of Lost in Space and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Allen envisioned a series that would combine his love for spectacle with the public's growing fascination with time travel concepts. The original concept evolved from Allen's desire to create something more ambitious than his previous works. He wanted to move beyond the confines of space or sea adventures to explore the entirety of human history.
This ship is dead, and so is everyone on board unless you give immediate orders to lower the lifeboat.
Allen's initial pitch to ABC executives centered on the idea of a massive government project, one that would cost $10,001,966, dedicated to unlocking the secrets of time travel. The development process faced immediate challenges. The show's premise required extensive research to accurately portray historical events, leading to the creation of a dedicated research department. The network expressed concerns about the astronomical budget required for period costumes, sets, and the elaborate special effects needed to create the time tunnel itself. Allen assembled a formidable creative team, including writer Ellis St. Joseph, who helped develop the pilot episode Rendezvous with Yesterday, centered around the Titanic disaster. The casting process proved equally crucial. After considering numerous actors, James Darren was chosen to play Dr. Tony Newman, the impulsive younger scientist, while Robert Colbert was cast as Dr. Doug Phillips, his more measured mentor and friend. The most significant development hurdle was creating the tunnel itself. Allen insisted on a practical set rather than relying solely on optical effects. This led to the construction of the iconic 60-foot tunnel, featuring thousands of lights synchronized to create the illusion of infinite depth. This practical effect, combined with innovative camera techniques, would become one of the show's most memorable elements. Production. The production of The Time Tunnel represented one of television's most ambitious undertakings of the 1960s. The centerpiece of the show's production was the massive Project TikTok set, which occupied Stage 5 at 20th Century Fox's studio lot. The complex featured multiple levels, sophisticated control panels with hundreds of blinking lights, and the iconic tunnel itself, a masterpiece of practical effects that cost nearly $200,000 to construct. Creating the signature time tunnel effect required innovative technical solutions. The tunnel utilized over 5,000 individually wired light bulbs, arranged in a series of concentric circles that extended 60 feet into the distance. These lights were controlled by a custom-designed sequencer that created the illusion of infinite movement. The swirling effect was enhanced by a combination of mirrors, smoke effects, and careful camera work. Weekly production posed significant logistical challenges. Each episode required period-appropriate costumes, props, and sets to recreate different historical eras. The show's costume department maintained an enormous wardrobe collection, while the prop department constantly sourced or fabricated period-specific items. The art department faced the weekly challenge of transforming limited stage space into convincing historical settings, from ancient Rome to World War II battlefields. The visual effects team, led by L.B. Abbott, developed new techniques for combining live action with historical footage. They pioneered the use of blue screen technology and refined methods for integrating actors into archival film footage. This innovative approach allowed the show to depict major historical events without the need for massive crowd scenes or elaborate set pieces. Budget constraints forced creative solutions. The production team became adept at repurposing sets, costumes, and props from other Fox productions. The base set of Project TikTok remained constant throughout the series, providing a stable anchor point that helped control costs. Despite these economic measures, each episode still cost approximately $180,000 to produce, a substantial amount for 1960s television. The demanding production schedule required filming episodes simultaneously using multiple units. This complex choreography of resources and personnel allowed the show to maintain its weekly broadcast schedule, but put enormous pressure on the cast and crew. The Time Tunnel aired 30 episodes during its single-season run from 1966 to 1967, establishing a distinct narrative pattern that combined historical drama with science fiction elements. The series pilot, Rendezvous with Yesterday, set the template by sending its protagonists aboard the Titanic, establishing both the show's ambitious scope and its central dramatic premise.
Face the incredible dangers of the past or the unknown secrets of the future.
The inability of the time travelers to change known historical events. The episodes followed a consistent structure. Tony and Doug would materialize in a new time period, quickly becoming embroiled in historical events while the Project TikTok team attempted to retrieve them. Key episodes demonstrated the series' range. The Day the Sky Fell In transported Tony to Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, where he encountered his own father, creating personal stakes within historical tragedy. Chase Through Time introduced complex time travel concepts by featuring multiple versions of the protagonists crossing paths. The Death Trap placed the heroes at Little Big Horn with General Custer, while Kill 2x2 stranded them on a Pacific island with Japanese soldiers during World War II. The show maintained several recurring elements throughout its run. The Project TikTok-based scenes provided continuity, featuring Dr. Ann McGregor, Lee Meriwether, Dr. Raymond Swain, John Zaremba, and General Kirk, Whit Bissell, working to bring their colleagues home. These segments often incorporated incorporated Cold War themes, with government pressure and competing international interests threatening the project. Ratings performance showed initial promise, with the series averaging a 32% share in its Friday night time slot. However, competition from CBS's Wild Wild West and NBC's Tarzan gradually eroded viewership. The show's expensive production costs, combined with declining ratings, ultimately led to its cancellation after one season. Character development throughout the series remained focused on the core dynamic between Tony and Doug, their contrasting personalities. Tony's impulsiveness versus Doug's cautious approach created consistent dramatic tension. Supporting characters at Project TikTok evolved more subtly, with Dr. McGregor's role particularly expanding as the series progressed. The show's treatment of historical events balanced entertainment with attempts at accuracy. While dramatic license was frequently taken, the series maintained a commitment to period detail in costumes and settings. Historical figures were generally portrayed with respect, though their characterizations often served the dramatic needs of individual episodes rather than strict historical accuracy. The off-camera dynamics of the time tunnel revealed both creative synergy and production tensions. James Darren and Robert Colbert, despite being cast just days before filming began, developed remarkable on-screen chemistry. Their friendship extended beyond the set, with Darren later recalling how they supported each other through the grueling filming schedule that often required 14-hour days. Lee Meriwether's role as Dr. Anne McGregor proved groundbreaking for the era. As one of the few female scientists portrayed on television, Meriwether fought to ensure her character remained professionally credible. She worked closely with the writers to avoid typical damsel in distress scenarios, though she later noted that this was an ongoing challenge given the period's television conventions. The writing team operated under intense pressure, having to produce new scripts weekly while maintaining historical accuracy. Story editor Bob Hamner implemented a unique system where researchers would prepare detailed historical briefings for each episode. These documents helped writers balance fictional narratives with historical facts, though the demanding schedule sometimes led to historical inaccuracies slipping through. Irwin Allen's hands-on producing style created both opportunities and challenges. Known for his explosive temper, Allen nevertheless inspired loyalty among his crew through his attention to detail and willingness to fight for quality. He personally supervised the construction of the tunnel set and often intervened in post-production to perfect the special effects. The physical demands on the cast were considerable. Both Darren and Colbert performed many of their own stunts, leading to various injuries throughout the production. The tunnel itself posed unique challenges. The rotating lights and smoke effects often caused disorientation among cast and crew, requiring frequent breaks during filming. Despite the pressures,
they're on an expedition to Mars. Look!
The production team maintained a remarkable level of innovation. The special effects department continuously refined their techniques, while the art department became increasingly skilled at transforming limited resources into convincing historical settings. The time tunnel explored profound themes that resonated with its 1960s audience and continue to echo today. The series consistently examined the moral implications of technological advancement, particularly relevant during the height of the Cold War. Through its weekly adventures, the show grappled with questions about scientific responsibility and the potential consequences of unchecked technological progress. The series tackled Cold War anxieties through its portrayal of Project TikTok as a government initiative under constant threat from foreign powers. This reflected real-world tensions about the space race and arms race, while the show's underlying message emphasized international cooperation over conflict. The recurring inability of Tony and Doug to change history, despite their knowledge of coming disasters, served as a powerful metaphor for the limitations of power and the weight of historical responsibility. The show's legacy can be traced through numerous subsequent time travel productions. Its influence is evident in series like Quantum Leap, which adopted a similar premise of protagonists jumping through time while being guided by a home-based team. The visual concept of the tunnel itself became iconic, inspiring similar representations of time travel in later media. Technically, the time tunnel pioneered special effects techniques that became industry standards. Its innovative use of blue screen technology and methods for integrating actors into historical footage influenced television production for decades. The practical effects used to create the tunnel demonstrated how creativity could overcome budget limitations. Today, the series enjoys a cult following and continues to influence modern science fiction. Its themes of technological ethics and historical responsibility remain particularly relevant in our era of rapid technological advancement. Streaming platforms have introduced the show to new generations, who find its retro-futuristic futuristic aesthetic and underlying messages surprisingly pertinent to contemporary concerns. The series also left an important legacy in television production, demonstrating how ambitious concepts could be realized on a television budget, paving the way for future science fiction series to push creative boundaries. The Time Tunnel stands as a testament to television's golden age of science fiction, when imagination and innovation converged to create something truly unique. Though its journey through television history was brief, its impact continues to ripple through time, reminding us that some stories are truly timeless. Thank you for watching.